Cisco's sdwan solution relies on a set of controllers to manage the network. These controllers are the brains of the operation. The vManage controller is the central management plane. It provides the graphical user interface and the APIs for configuration and monitoring. You will interact with vManage the most. The vSmart controller is the central policy and control plane brain. It distributes routing information and policies to all the WAN edge routers. The vBond controller is the orchestrator. It authenticates all devices as they join the SD-WAN fabric and tells them how to find the other controllers. It is the first point of contact for any device trying to connect to the network. Why would you deploy these controllers on premises? The alternative is using Cisco's cloud-hosted service. For many organizations, an on-premises deployment offers greater control over security, data sovereignty, and infrastructure management. It also gives you direct control over hardware resources, uptime, and maintenance schedules. This guide shows a command-by-command approach to get from zero to a live control plane quickly. Before you deploy virtual machines, have the right resources and information ready. Proper preparation prevents common failures. You will need 3 separate virtual machines: vManage, vBond, and vSmart. Size these VMs per Cisco's documentation for your scale. Use smaller specs for labs. Production requires specific CPU, RAM, and disk. Ensure your hypervisor, whether VMware ESXi, KVM, or another supported option, has the resources available. Download the correct OVA or ISO images from Cisco's software portal with an active support contract. OVAs simplify hardware settings. Plan static IPs, subnet masks, and default gateways for each controller. Create DNS records, or for simplicity in labs, add hosts file entries that resolve each controller. Open required ports between controllers per Cisco documentation. Ensure firewalls allow the control plane traffic. Time sync is critical. Use a reliable NTP server reachable from the management network. Certificates are time sensitive. Ensure you have console access for first boot, SSH for CLI, and a browser for vManage. Summarizing prerequisites: VM resources, software images, IP addressing, NTP details, and access methods. Time discrepancies are a leading cause of control connection failures. Verify NTP before moving on. With prerequisites in place, you're ready to deploy. We begin with vManage as the central point for registering the other controllers. Deploy the vManage OVA to your hypervisor and power on. Open the VM console and let the initial boot sequence complete. Configure basic settings: IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, hostname, and a site ID. For a single site, use site ID 1. After initial config, vManage services start. This can take several minutes. Monitor progress from the console. From CLI, check service status. System CTL status vManage. If active, browse to https g84 or 3. Log in with admin and immediately change the password when prompted. Set the organization name and the vBond IP. The org name must match across all controllers and WAN edge devices. In vManage GUI, Administration, Settings, vBond. Enter the vBond IP or FQDN. Keep port 112346. Click Save. Verify under Monitor, Network, Control Connections, or use CLI Show Control Connections. In Certificates, change the certificate authority to your enterprise root certificate or use vManage as root CA for labs. Generate and install controller certificates from here so vManage can onboard vBond and vSmart securely. vManage is now ready to onboard other controllers. Double-check the org name string exactly matches what you'll use on vBond, vSmart, and WAN edges. With management and certificates set, proceed to deploy vBond and vSmart. Deploy the vBond and vSmart OVAs to your hypervisor and power them on. For both, enter hostname, system IP, site ID, organization name, and the vBond IP. On vBond, its own IP is used as the vBond address. After vBond's initial config, its services start and it's ready to be added to vManage. In vManage, go to Configuration, Controllers, and click Add Controller. Select vBond, provide its IP and credentials. vManage connects via SSH, pushes config, and installs the signed certificate. Repeat the same steps for vSmart. Select vSmart, enter IP and credentials, then let vManage push config and the certificate. All three controllers should now appear with certificates installed and control status up. Verify control connections from each device. Show control connections. On vManage, you should see vBond and vSmart. On vSmart, you should see vManage and vBond. On vBond, you should see vManage and vSmart. Add a WAN edge to prove the fabric. On the edge CLI, enter a minimal bootstrap. Commands: config transaction, system host name branch 1, system IP 10.1.1.1, site ID 100, organization name your org name, vBond, commit, and quit. Add the edge serial in vManage. Use CLI show control local properties to read the serial.